Yeah, what's up, guys? Today I'll be talking about why I think or I know that Jonathan is coming back as the most preferred candidate for the presidential seat of Nigeria. He's coming back to be the most preferred candidate to be the president of Nigeria. It might be soon, it might be later, it might be in a few years to come, it might be in 2023, it might be in 2027. I don't know, but I'm sure he's coming back. Hmm. And the reason is that you see, I can predict a lot of things like this, based on my experience. I haven't been a governor before, I haven't been a president before. What I'm talking about is, you see, life is the same in every setting. Psychologically and philosophically, life is the same in every setting. Whatever, you see, uh, so we human beings, we're social animals, right? And whatever is happening in one social clique on social milieu is and how people think is the same way people will be thinking in another field as well. For example, let's say when someone please people a lot and you know how to play tricks, and you know how to make people like him, even though that person might not be a good person. But you know how to paint himself well, whether he's, for example, let's say a leader is stealing the money of the society. Maybe he's a king or a local government chairman, or just a leader of a small group, right? And he's stealing the money of the society that is contributed by the constituents or by the member of that group. He's looting them up and things like that. The point is, whether sooner or later, the secret is going to be revealed, right? Or let's say someone that got into a position. I'm talking politically now. Someone that got into a position, through illegal means. Either sooner or later, it's going to backfire, even though that person might have used the power and might have left the power then. But the point is, whatever he actually wanted to use the power for, he wouldn't be able to use it. Whatever he actually wanted to use to achieve the power. That's why Buhari can't achieve anything with his dictatorship, and all these policy of going against the rule of law that he's doing, saying he wouldn't be able to do anything if you follow the rule of law. It doesn't matter whether you rule with impunity or not. If you're going to achieve something, you're going to achieve something. If you're not going to achieve anything, you won't. Look at the time of Awolowo and co, right? Even though they accommodated some kind of thuggery in their politics as well, but a lot of people don't like to talk about this. Of course they did. He and Akintola wahala nonsense, but I don't want to go into that. That's not. Then these guys as well, they actually practiced good politics, right? I mean, there is less action of going against the rule of law. Less. I'm not saying that there's no action of going against the rule of law by a leader or something like that. And with that, they are able to achieve a lot of things. Hmm? Look at the people who actually ruled without rule of law, who were trampling on things. They couldn't achieve anything as well. The people who actually had total power, like the likes of Babangida, like the likes of Abacha, what exactly have they done? Actually, they did a lot of things as well, right? But most of those things, the remnant of those legacies, those legacies are fading fast. Look at Obasanjo. A lot of his legacies are still present and valid, and he might not be perfect. He has a lot of no, he has made a lot of questionable decisions, and some questionable things that actually dented his image. Dented it, either big time or small time, either a little bit or a lot. That's not the point. The point is that no matter what anyone has done to get to power, or to hold on to power, or to use power, or to stick to power, it will always backfire at the end of the day. That person might have even left power. And at times, when they are suffering for most of those deliberate evil actions, the people might not be aware of it. But the point is, it will happen no matter what. But let's leave that aside. The major point of this video is that Jonathan is coming back. And why is he coming back? Because it's a scammer, right? Why? The reason why I said it's a scammer is because he actually he was announced to have lost the election, right? Or and I want to believe that he lost the election in 2015, and he actually called the victor, which was President Muhammadu Buhari. Then that low, congratulations and this and that. The point is, if it was the other way around, do we think such kind of a thing can happen? I'm not saying Buhari would do so, and I'm not saying he wouldn't. But just think about it. If it's the other way around, do you think such kind of a thing can happen? No. And right now, Nigeria is now being held in. Actually, I don't believe anyone can hold Nigeria on hostage, right? But I think and I believe that Nigeria is at a point where there is no candidate that I think can stand anyone that Buhari presents to the country. There's nobody. He presented Atiku in 2019 as Atiku was rigged out, which means that even if in 2023 and if Buhari actually decided to run for the third time, which is not actually going along with the constitution of the country, but constitution can be amended anytime, and all these Ahmed Lawan and so on. If not for the fight between Buhari and Tinubu, I think they would have done something about that. So they just wanted to play safe. They don't want to offend Tinubu. They don't want to offend Buhari as well. So that's why they are playing safe. They would have amended the constitution if Tinubu and Buhari were able to reach a compromise about the decision of 2023, but they were unable to. So that's the reason why. So the point is that either Buhari is still going to be Buhari is still going to be beyond 2023, or Buhari is going to present someone of his favorite choice to be the president of 2023 if Atiku is presented, and with the international support that Buhari is having from China and all this Russia and all these places. Even though a lot of people be saying, Buhari and Chinese government's relationship is just business, it's just fine, it's just economy, it's just an economical relationship between Nigeria and China. Well, I'm not here to argue with anyone, but the people who know the truth, and we all know the truth. We're just trying to cover up nonsense, right? So, with the international support that Buhari is enjoying right now, I don't think anyone can dare Buhari. Why? Because even if you say you win, you can turn into war, and Trump is not ready to venture or intervene in anything that has to do with Africa, right? And if not for the fact that China is actually influencing United States politics and turning and empowering some of their lawmakers to go against Trump and trying to impeach Trump. That was one of the things that actually pushed Trump to the wall and made him turn back at what's the name? Turn back at Buhari. Shawuri has been in detention since. Trump didn't even remember about that. USA couldn't even remember that there's one Nigeria somewhere. Just immediately after the impeachment, the impeachment thing was a little bit averted, even though it hasn't been totally averted, right? It was a little bit being averted after the House of Representatives of the United States has voted against Trump to be impeached. Since after then, what happened? He started launching, attacks, making sanctionings on a lot of all these countries, making statement. He sent a statement to what's the name to World Bank that they shouldn't be borrowing China money the way they are borrowing China, right? But the point is, all these things are. The point is that Jonathan have a good international reputation. Nigeria is under a democratic rule, but internationally our recognition is that we are under a military or a dictator thing. And now any international body who wants to assist Nigeria to get out of the dark hole that it is, or that she is right now, what would they do? They would try to look for someone that they can trust with the democracy of this country. And who do you think they can trust with the democracy of this country? With the current constitution, Obasanjo has ruled 2 terms, and with his antecedents, Between 2000 and between 1999 to 2007, you can't be trusted with the democracy of this country. Buhari, no. Yeah, Buhari is dead. Do you think they are going to go and bring Baba? No, now. No, now. What do you think about? That's number one. And secondly, is nature. It is just nature. It is just nature. I'm not saying they haven't cheated Jonathan. They haven't. But the point is, it is just in the nature of human. You can see before people used to say, Jonathan was corrupt. When Buhari started apprehending a lot of government officials under Jonathan administration who stole a lot of money and things like that. While they were arresting them, they were saying, okay, Jonathan looted the treasury. So, and like I was saying, it is in the nature of human being to go back to whatever that he see as pain before, or he has seen that thing is painful before, and he got out of that thing that he thought it was painful, and he got into another thing, and that thing is more painful, giving him like 200% or 300% of the pain he has left in that one, and he wasn't able to find another option to alleviate all the pains. What would he do? He would leave that position and go back to where he was before, right? That was the same thing. That was the same thing that happened. Even that was the reason why a lot of Nigerians actually fell for Buhari as well. They have forgotten all the pains he inflicted on the country back then in 1983. During the Abacha's time, he was the chairman of PTF as well. We actually asked for the PTF, the petroleum area of the government, that they wanted to handle it, according to history, that he actually asked Abacha for it, right? They belong to the same caucus, right? Either in the religious caucus, and the same political caucus in the military as well. All the pains they inflicted on Nigeria back then in 1983, Nigerians have forgotten. 2015, people were shouting Buhari, Buhari, only Buhari. They are talking about Buhari like Buhari is a messiah. That thing is coming back and this was the Buhari that actually threw Nigeria into recession in 1983, into recession in 2016, a year after he was elected. The recession is still coming back again in 2020. Why? Because Lai Mohammed and a lot of all these officers, they have said it, that they are going to devalue Naira. Bam. That's number one. And secondly, there is going to be increase in fuel pump price, and those are one of the things that usually cause those are the two major things that usually regulate prices of things, and prices of commodity in the market, right? And now the new minimum wage thing, do you think that is going to be enough? This was the minimum wage, 30,000 naira, that they have been fighting for since 2016 or maybe 2018 or whatever. Was it? I don't know. So since then, this was the minimum wage that they've been fighting for. This 30,000 naira minimum wage. Like, let's say a lot of states have been adopting the 30,000 naira minimum wage, even though not all of them, right? Even let's assume all of the states have agreed to the 30,000 naira minimum wage, right? Then there will be inflation next year. Then that means there's nothing like minimum wage again. The money they are giving you, they are taking it back. You can see what I'm talking about. It is the nature of human. There is a term for that thing, that in such a way that whatever bad situation that you've ever been before, you start recapping those memories, the good memories of those times, but you will forget the bad ones. That's why you usually miss your ex-girlfriends that you've left since 4 years ago. They actually did terrible things to you, maybe your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, whatever. They actually did terrible things to you to have made you leave them, but you start missing them maybe after 2-3 years. It might not even be up to that times. Then you feel like maybe just picking your phone and calling them again, like, you just want to check on them, maybe you can rekindle and just recapture some of the sweet and good moments that you have spent together. It is just in the nature of human being, and it's happened to the whole of Nigeria back then in 2015. It happened to the whole country. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm sure. It's going to happen no matter what. It's going to happen. I think if the likes of Gaddafi has known this thing I'm talking about, I think he would have resigned when Obama was trying to force him out of the government and saying that he should have left, because nobody would be able to do the country the way he has done, or handle the country the way he has handled it. Why? Because he wasn't treating Libya like a normal African country. Now, even though he ruled under a dictatorship system, right? But now, let's say 9 years later, even not 9 years later, let's say 2 years later or 3 years later, Libyans are already regretting it, and that was a president who actually performed well. Libyans are already regretting his death, or having hands in his death already. But that aside, the major point is that we are going to miss all the bad moments during Jonathan's time, and we are going to recap all the sweet moments, and we wouldn't have any other person to actually give the country to lead us anymore at a point in time that is coming very very soon, other than Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan. And I would advise you not to vote for him. Why? Because now he is wiser. He is wise before, and now he is wiser. Someone who treated you well. Like, I don't want to say he treated us well. Some people might say he treated Nigeria well. Some people might say he didn't treat Nigeria well. He didn't treat Nigeria well. But the point I can point out is that he hasn't performed too worse. He hasn't performed too worse. He hasn't performed too bad. Hmm? What I can say is there's really I can't really count on a big improvement, but the country didn't deteriorate. The country didn't deteriorate. Even though he also increased he devalued naira, increased the fuel pump price, a lot of insecurities, the insecurities that were beyond his control. After spending billions of naira, people were saying, yeah, that Suki looted the money. Even though looting money wasn't a good thing, but even if I'm sure if they spend that money on on Boko Haram, it won't. I don't think it will make any effect. Why? Because a lot of Nigerians know about it. They know. You know what's going on. So that's it. But I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go. So that's the point. Don't vote for Jonathan when he comes back. Why? Because he is wiser now. He ruled with a true under a true democratic atmosphere. Nigerians abused it. They were disrespecting their president. Voting out your president is not. There's no problem about voting out your president, but disrespecting your president, maligning him on the page of newspaper. I even saw a picture of a picture of Dino Melaye where he wrote Jonathan, Jonathan Goodluck. It wasn't a good luck, he abbreviated it using a letter, interpreting a letter, each letter for a word, he used the C in good luck for corruption, theft, things like that. He just now what happened? Only God, it was God that saved him from being killed under Buhari's administration. I was saying, Jonathan is all this Saraki now. Where are they now? Well, even though I love Saraki extremely, I loved him extremely, but now I can't say it is. They actually know best decisions that they have made for themselves. I don't know whether they decide to fight Jonathan. It's not my business, right? But the point is that he ruled in the country well under a democratic atmosphere, and people were disrespecting him. And apart from disrespecting him, people were not conducting themselves well. They were not treating him like a president. That's the number one citizen of the country. That's the person who represents whom your country is. But now Buhari is ruling with, not totally with the rule of law, totally, right? You do nonsense, you are carried, DSS detain you. The court will order for your bail and that you should be released, and they won't release you. Buhari will only release you if he wants to. And now everybody has utmost respect for him. Goodluck Jonathan will be seeing Nigerians that, okay, this is what Nigerians want, and he has known what we want, and he has known what actually works for us, and he's going to give us what we actually respond to. And what is that? Which is rough handling. Jonathan is coming back. I'm just, I'm so sure. He's coming back. Nobody treated Nigerians bad in 1983. He came back. People voted for him. With time, this popularity will be increasing with time. The same thing will happen to Jonathan as well. And when he comes back, I'm not saying you shouldn't vote for him because I don't like him, because I hate him. No, but because of whom we whom the type of person we Nigerians are, that we have shown him that we only respond and respect rough handling, and he's going to give that to us if we make that mistake. That's what I've got to say.